Please stand to attention for the Fockham Hall National Anthem. Thank you.
Tonight, a tribute to the late Sir Edward Elgar, whose favourite instrument was the B-flat garden hose, for which he wrote many great pieces, including Underneath the Armpits, Keep My Names Away. Right.
Do you like that? I got a salute. Here we go. Thank you very much. There's a Fockham Hall National Anthem. Desperate to hold the tears back there. It's so emotional. Right, we better announce who we've got on the show tonight. Well, we've got Survivalist Dave, plus an extra guest of Deb. Hello, Deb. So it's going to be a great show tonight.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in.
Well, we got a special spot tonight because normally I have call-outs, and we got the Pearl and Dean type adverts, and I've actually bought a product from Pearl and Dean type adverts, so we'll be showing that soon. It's always nice, it is, I don't think. And a little call-out to both Colin and Ron. They're a bit Tom and Dick at the moment, so nice positive thoughts. They're both near Manchester, so one's in Swinton, that's Colin, and Ron is actually in Darwin in Lancashire, not in Australia. We might be Australia, perhaps he's
it could be, yeah.
You never know, but he's got a Darwin accent.
He's in Darwin in Australia. He's probably in an internment camp if he's the wrong colour.
Possibly.
He might. But we've got a new thing coming up in this show, and that is the 2-finger salute. And every week we'll give a 2-finger salute. How's that? And
That'll do.
This is on behalf of these are people that's had very bad experiences in different shops for not wearing a obedience muzzle, you see, because I don't wear an obedience muzzle. Face covering. Now, you notice Survival Dave has got a face covering, not because of anything or anything, but he doesn't wish to show his, give away his identity.
Incognito.
So, incognito as well. So that's the reason he's got his glasses on and face covering, but that's the only reason. There's nothing suspicious or anything like that. So first of all, Sue, she had a bit of to a bull and cow in Sainsbury's at Hoddesdon. And then we have Hayley, the crystal lady, who was on the 1st of November, who sells crystals. Her advert's coming up later. She had a bit of a bull and cow in Isabel Hospice shop in Waltham Cross. And when I say bull and cow, we're all very peaceful and nice people. We go about our business, not bothering anybody. And we had the, hey, man, and then myself. This is Barclays Bank in Waltham Cross. That's a hot spot. And I walked into Barclays Bank, you see, and a woman said, she came over and said, young man, have you got a mask? I said, no. Pause. Exempt. Then suddenly, one of these women, sort of like what I call them perfumed farts, came across. And there's a woman standing behind me, was a bit pongy. And she had this box, which I thought were tissues. And I thought, perhaps she's brought her tissues over because she thought I've crapped myself. But she, so she said, the perfume farts. She had her makeup done by polyfiller, the type, front of
the other one.
And she said, the master. So I said, I'm exempt. So she said, have you got a card? So I thought she went, so I said for the machine, no, an exemption card. So I said, well, you don't know the law. I said, you don't. So she said, oh, you don't need to get it out. I said, okay. And I got out this sheet of paper that shows that, it's £9,000 fine because it's against the Disablement Act of 2010. And she just sort of glanced at it and walked off. So, and also there's Ron in Darwin. He would like Santander Bank and all the banks were closed down in Darwin. So that's all together. So those ones. So lovely two fingers.
Like yours. Like yours, do.
So before we start, shall we have a quick sniff in the blimey? We've got 23 comments in comments already. So let's have a look what we got in here. Christ, we got a lot here. So we got Louise. So hello, Louise.
Hello.
I can't even see the chat, mate.
Well, she says hello. And I was talking to somebody in her area this afternoon to a primer stove. And ladies, I did say that I was going to show my primer stove. So are you excited, Deb, and primer sprinkers?
I'm excited.
You can tell them about primer sprinkers. It sounds rude, but it's very clean, I assure you. And then we got Deborah Single. Blimey, it's your sweet sister.
That'd be me.
Then we go down. I can't read everybody's out. Sorry about this. Let's have a look what we got. All prepped, ready. Oh, it's a good one. Robert Moore says, hello. All thumbs up, everyone. All prepped and ready to hear. Show us. Okay, right. Then we got hello, Michelle, Charmaine, Chris, Dave, and everyone that joined after. So that's lovely. That's thanks, Louise. And hello, Andy. It's Andy B. Yes, I do hope. Andy B. I do hope I did the two-finger salute correctly to the Isabel Hospice in Waltham Cross. I'm sure they're all right very elsewhere, but I think it's the people in there, because it wasn't only the lady that was in there at the time, but some of the shoppers went for her as well. You know, so you know. Right. Well, shall we go back to chat a little bit later? Oh, hello. We got Kat in here as well. Hello, Kat. Looking forward to hearing this.
I can't
get on with it, don't I?
Yeah, get on with it.
So over to you, Dave. I'll stop faffing around.
If you can see the chat, I'd be grateful if you'd ask any questions that the viewers have got. So because I can't really see it from here much, it's quite hard to read without moving the head about and things.
We'll ask you the questions.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. We'll put the spotlight on you and we ask the questions around here, you know.
Yeah. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone, and I'm very grateful for all the excellent questions that a lot of our knowledgeable viewers always come up with. As a change tonight from previous attempts, I'll be highlighting everlasting fire starters. Now, you can carry a lighter, and it's going to run out of fuel. It's going to run out of flint if it's a flint version. You can carry matches, and they're pretty much a one-use item. Now, obviously, as a survivalist, I'm fully capable of making primitive fire from a number of methods without any kind of artificial help apart from a knife. Now, my goal is to help everyone who has not got that skill set to still be able to achieve full fire starting independence for this evening's subject, at least, without needing any skills. Now, what I've decided to show is a plasma arc lighter. It's here, right? It's got a waterproof case. You press a button, the lid lifts up, and you press this other button, and you don't get a flame. You get a plasma arc. Now, if that arc touches any combustible material, you've got a fire. Now, okay, that's a pretty simple item, but it's USB rechargeable, which means, obviously, if you've got a solar panel this lasts forever.
Yeah.
It never runs out of fuel. There's no flame, no flint, and it'll start 1,000 fires per charge, and it can be charged up 10,000 times before it's worn out.
Right.
So this right here for under £10 is an everlasting fire starter if it's coupled with a reasonably cheap solar panel.
Yeah.
And I advise people to get that if they might be at risk of being stuck in the house with a wood burning stove as their only heat and cooking and water purification system, or if in the unfortunate event they have to actually leave their house, take this with you, take a solar panel with you. You won't ever need any skills to start a fire.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not one of these that says, oh, you've got to learn to do what I do, because a lot of people aren't able to do it or can't be bothered or they haven't got time. This solves all them problems, and it solves them forever. Now, you could easily say, oh, I don't need one of them, Dave, because I've got 500 Bic lighters in a suitcase. They'll last me until I'm dead. Now, that's a good point, but you've got a lot of bulk there if you get hundreds of Bic lighters, right? This is not a lot of bulk. And when you see the when you take into account the multiple uses of the solar panel from Anchor that I displayed and demonstrated on another show, that's got multiple uses. It not only does it charge this up forever, but it'll charge you any mobile devices up, any torches that are USB rechargeable, and various other items, USB VHF radios, and it's definitely a well worth having item. Now, this comes in a camouflage pattern, but I've stuck a light reflective piece of tape on it, because if this is your fire starter that you're relying on, you don't want to be dropping a camouflage item in the woods, because it'll just disappear.
Yeah.
Whereas this, even if you drop it in the dark, you can shine your torch and you'll be able to see it from 50 yards away.
Yeah, good idea.
So I've made it unlosable by doing that. Now, it's got a waterproof case, and you just do that with it. And if you want to open it, you unbolt that, press the button.
Excellent.
And then you go.
And you're in. Brilliant.
It's called plasma, is it? A plasma
It's
light.
a plasma arc lighter. It's quite cheap.
Right.
And this, when it's sealed up like that, is actually waterproof.
Yeah.
You can put it underwater.
Brilliant.
Oh, I like
obviously, it comes with this string lanyard. Now, I obviously intend to replace this lanyard with some 550 fire cord, which has got a flammable core in it. So it comes with its own tinder then. You know, it's all about making sure that you've got multiple options.
Yeah.
And I think that ease of fire starting, which you know won't run out, is a great concept, because people who are not that efficient at survival skills and things, believe it or not, can find it difficult to start a fire with a lighter, with a cigarette lighter, because it's not as easy as you think out in the wind and rain and things like this. This operates, it's naturally windproof because it's no flame. It can't get blown out while you're trying to use it, because it doesn't matter how fast the wind blows, it won't blow out because it's not a flame. So I think this is an overlooked, dirt cheap item that could help everybody who maybe not highly skilled at primitive fire starting. If they was unfortunate enough to have to leave their house, I suggest getting this while they're here.
Yeah.
Brilliant. eBay job, do you reckon, Dave?
What?
eBay, do you reckon?
No, they're everywhere. This was £6.99.
Blimey, that's not bad, is it?
That's good, isn't it? Yeah.
It charges up with a micro USB phone socket, which is we'll just open the lid again. I'll take the guts out of it.
It's got a little. That's brilliant.
Is in the side there. Hold on, get it the right way around. there you can see the micro USB charging socket. It's the most popular size of phone charger, so it will charge up from any phone charger if you happen to have mains near you. Obviously, the solar panel will charge that up. And if you've got the Anchor battery that I showed on another show to go with the solar panel, that will charge this up probably 400 times before it even needs charging itself. So that battery pack will keep you going for possibly for years with just this in unlimited fire starting capability with no skill required. That's the key point I'm trying to make here. You don't need to be skilled.
That's terrific. Well, actually, Blank Walls just come in and said available on eBay, and he's just checked. They are. So,
excellent.
So that's.
I recommend getting the one with the waterproof case because a lot of them aren't waterproof. The actual lighter itself isn't waterproof. It's only waterproof by virtue of this outer case.
Right.
I've got you. And I put that luminous tape on because you don't want to drop it in the woods and that. Which is,
it comes in this like supposedly trendy camo pattern and things, but
that camo's for a reason, isn't it?
Camo, because when you drop it on the floor, it just disappears. You can't find it because it works. But get yourself some reflective tape, makes it unlosable. It's a pocket-size item, costs next to nothing, and as long as you've got the right equipment to accompany it, it lasts forever. But even if you haven't, it still lasts a real long time, longer than any lighter will last in fuel or flint. So there you go. That's the main item that I wanted to focus on for today's piece of equipment, which I usually come up with some kind of equipment and talk about. So we'll go on that.
You should get commission for this, Dave.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
I don't do anything like that. I just.
I know. This is fantastic. I've never seen anything like that. I guess who's going to buy one?
Well worth having, And even if you smoke cigarettes, they're useful for smoking cigs with. If that's how you want to. How you want to leave this world. Yeah.
Perfect.
That is absolutely perfect. Do you want to go on to the next subject, or shall we do an advert break now?
You can do an advert break, or we'll take any questions on any aspect of survival, either sheltering in place or outside bug out survival, and any kind of woodland, desert, Arctic, anything you want. I'm happy to help people. In A, B, C, or D. I can tell anybody what needs to be done.
Right. Well, what we'll do, let's go into what should we have? Should be sorry, I don't get paid for these adverts. I just do it for my mates. So
we do it for fun.
Abbey Health Food, because he often says, "I haven't seen your adverts." So come to Abbey Health Foods for competitively priced vitamins, minerals, etc., plus free advice. And remember, free delivery within 6 feet of the Abbey Health Food counter, subject to availability, of course. Vitamins and minerals can be posted throughout the United Kingdom post-free with orders over £35, subject to change, of course. Miles, the proprietor, is a qualified nutritionist, herbalist and acupuncturist. The main questions regarding acupuncture is, do you feel a prick? Well, I guess you may feel a little stupid. When phoning Abbey Health Foods, please remember to tell them you saw their advert on this show. So telephone 01992 650014. That's 01992 650014. Hello, if you don't want to meet people like this, dressed in leotards and acting strangely, or if you don't want people that do things like this, then why not go along to Yoga Hearts? You can see the website just here, advertised at the bottom of the page, for jolly nice people, or telephone 07463 021 512. And remember, ladies, do you like dangly things? Gentlemen, do you like round things that you enjoy touching? Well, why not contact the Crystal Boutique? because the Crystal Boutique has a full range of crystals that will suit every taste. Yes, contact the Crystal Boutique UK@gmail.com, and remember, their crystals are competitively priced, plus you can also receive a wealth of knowledge from the proprietor. So why not contact the Crystal Boutique? When contacting them, please remember to tell them where you saw their advert. Thank you very much. Look at that. That's a bit of Sachi and Sachi would be envious of that, wouldn't they?
There would, yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Do you like the Poncy southern voice?
I
Because
do,
it
yeah.
I'm really bleeding Poncy from you. It's like, hey, hello. Because I said if I could do it seriously, because I can't.
You must control yourself.
Do you have a quickie in chat and have a quick look and then go back to Dave?
Yeah. Yes.
Right, here we go. Right, what have we got here? Right. Oh, hang on. We got cat. I think we said this enough times. Is it called a plasma arc lighter?
Lighter, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It certainly is.
Yes.
And remember the waterproof thingy, me bob over
Waterproof if it's in the outer case, but the actual concept of the lighter itself isn't waterproof. So you want one that comes in the waterproof case.
Waterproof case. Right.
And then this is a good one. Answer, he said, blank. Well, what search words did you use in eBay? I thought plasma arc.
As soon as I put plasma arc,
waterproof
plasma lighter.
That's it. That's what Blackwall said. Plasma lighter.
Yeah.
Now, Blackwall just looks at Amazon has them to waterproof $11.99. Bit expensive that is.
I must have gone up since I bought this. I've had it a while, so
yeah.
This was £8-ish.
But Kat has said something rather political here, which I agree with. Well, who would buy from you know who? Set up to put everyone else out of business. Just say, yeah, I use eBay and bother with Amazon.
Everybody's going out of business. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're not Amazon, you're going out of business. So get these things that you need while you can. That's why I'm here. Because these things that you need that you might wish you had when you haven't got them, you need to get them while they're here.
That's right.
That's why I've started doing this, because I don't believe that these things that I've been collecting over all the donkey's years I've been into this are going to be available forever.
Yeah.
But got someone. Thanks, Louise. First time I haven't wanted to skip the ads, laughing my head off. Well, you might laugh your head off for the next ads because they're Pearl and Dean type ads. So, and I've actually bought something from the Pearl and Dean type ads, not Pearl and Dean. So, right. Now what we got here?
Sorry, I'm just ordering a lighter.
So that was
I'm getting in before they all go.
That was my point. Amazon set up to eliminate it. Well, allegedly.
Yeah.
I'd say that. But Aunt Sally's just said, I'm getting hundreds when I search, but I can't find a. I can't find a.
It's a USB micro USB rechargeable one. And my system for charging anything that's micro USB or USB rechargeable is to have the Anker solar panel, which I've shown on a couple of different shows if you've seen them before. ANKER, that's the name. Anker 21 watt folding solar panel, and it charges anything up, and they're highly efficient. And remember, there's no W on the front of Anker.
That's right. Think of Boris Johnson, I'll leave the W off. Actually, I've looked, they're about 60 quid now, 69, 70 quid. They've gone down.
Well worth it. Well, and get the Anker power pack with it as well, because it's compatible with it. All the amperages and everything are compatible. And the battery that they do, the 21,000 milliamp, I believe it is, that comes with them, will charge the latest iPhone probably 6 times from flat to full before it needs to be recharged by the solar panel.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of juice in there, and something like that, like I said, will keep your lighter charged up for virtually forever.
Yeah.
You know,
Brilliant.
it's
Because that what I have noticed, I mean, that's probably made in China, but you know, you was mentioning that straw the other week where we filter
Yeah.
through. Well, I looked on eBay and there's a lot of bloody cheap rip-offs on there, which you've got to be very careful of. So you've got to go to
the only ones that I recommend are from a firm called Drink Safe Systems UK.
Yeah.
Drink Safe
Get
Systems.
it from there, you're getting top quality. That's, you know, that's,
yeah.
that's
I'll make a note of that. Was it Drink Safe Systems? Drink Safe.
Oh, Charmaine's saying, got my bivvy from eBay for under £5. Excellent.
Got my what? Sorry.
Bivvy.
Bivvy bag.
Bivvy shelter.
Bivvy bag.
Bivvy bag. Yeah.
I'd definitely. I would. I mean, Charmaine. Obviously, you've got a preparedness mindset there, which is a good thing to have.
Yeah.
If it's not a Gore-Tex bivvy bag, and a lot of them aren't, I would get an ex-military Gore-Tex bivvy bag because the build quality is legendary and they last a very, very long time. And not just that, a good quality Gore-Tex bivvy bag that's got 3 different layers. Obviously, one breathable layer, one waterproof and breathable layer, and another backing layer. That adds at least 1 season to any sleeping bag. So you can get away with a much cheaper, lighter sleeping bag if you have a Gore-Tex bivvy bag over the top of it. You know, giving you excellent thermal regulation capabilities if you're in a colder or temperate climate.
Yeah, Gore-Tex is brilliant.
I really would not recommend any of these cheap bivvy bags because the build quality is horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got Charmaine. What is a bivvy bag? What you sleep in? Sleeping bag, basically.
Yeah, it's a waterproof outer cover for a sleeping bag.
Sleeping bag,
my personal choice is the Carinthia Dutch Army hooped bivvy, and it's got a head hoop, and you can either fully close it up for it to be stormproof, or you can have the outer open if you're under a tarp, and it's got a built-in zip-in mosquito net.
Yes.
Which obviously, you know, you really need, because it's not just mosquitoes; it's your Scottish midges and things in Britain.
Oh yeah.
You know, you'd be in big trouble if you can't keep them off your face.
Yeah.
Well, you can't afford to lose valuable sleep.
Yeah,
also,
Dutch military hooped bivvy, in my view, is the best multi-purpose bivvy bag that there is. If you just want one that's waterproof, then the the name's escaping me now. It's the French military issue.
can't help you there.
I'm really apologise to the viewers.
Don't worry. Well, we'll go back to it, shall we? Because I've usually found if you think of something else, it comes to you when you least expect it. I can't help you on that one. I'm sorry. But the other thing is what we could cover another week is the backpacks, because there's backpacks and backpacks, and I have ex-military backpacks, but I don't have the camouflage ones. I've got some. What's it, Hungarian army one, sort of. Not all that, but the British Army is supposed to be the best. So I've heard, because you can throw it anywhere and it just stand up to anything. It's multi-stitched and multi-everything. You drop it from on top of a building.
If in doubt with backpacks, military issue all day long.
Definitely.
British military issue is up there with the best of them.
Yep.
Charmaine,
I agree with that.
She said mine is a Trek right survival bag, Dave.
Trek right survival bag. Right.
Trek right, yes.
Is it got a drawstring, or is it just like a big plastic bag like the Highlander ones, the big orange ones? I mean, it sounds like it's too expensive to be one of them, but it sounds like it's just a waterproof bivvy bag that's not breathable. The problem being, if your life's depending on it to keep you down from exposure out in the rain, then it will be waterproof, but because it's not breathable, you'll sweat inside it, and that sweat will condense if the temperature outside is cold than it is inside. You'll then become soaking wet, and when the temperature drops, you'll die of hypothermia. So
she's saying it's orange.
Would not recommend anything that's not a Gore-Tex bivvy bag to sleep in. for them
Yeah.
reasons. And it's a serious point that I'm making, because you might feel all right, you might feel nice and warm when you go to sleep, and then you just might not wake up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And I'll tell you, if I could add a little thing in there, I suffer from cold feet, and I've done a lot looked into this. And the trouble is, those things that those peelable things that you can buy to keep your feet warm, they're all right. They last for about 10 hours, but the thing is, they're about £4 for 5. But you've got to carry loads and loads and loads with you. And the secret is to keep your feet dry. So it's better to have something like bicarbonate of soda, which you
Yeah.
sprinkle on your feet, keep your socks dry. And I used to go for woolen, which I have done, and I've found that the synthetic is better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is the thing. But it's keeping your feet dry, because once
The
they're
army
wet,
was full as earth.
really,
Yeah.
good heavens. And I'll tell you another one. I don't know if you I guess Dave's used this. If it's really cold, you've got woolen socks, put a pair of summer socks on, then put a carrier bag over your feet, then put your woolen socks over the top, then put your boot on. And what
Yeah.
happens, woolen sock keeps dry and keeps the thermal insulation. The only trouble is that don't keep it on too long, the carrier bags, because when you take them off, wash your feet immediately, because they begin
Yeah.
to itch and you're going to get bacteria. And wash them in a solution of apple cider vinegar to get any nasty what do they call it, bacteria off.
Bacteria.
If you was actually stuck in the woods, and this is speaking to what your excellent advice about looking after your feet, Chris.
Thank you.
The summertime mature leaves of the horse chestnut tree or conker tree.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get any a water source available, if you crush a bunch of them leaves up in your hand with water, it turns into an antifungal, antibacterial body soap, and it lathers up really well, and it's an excellent field impromptu bushcraft soap.
Yeah.
So
could you mention that again? Sorry, Dave. What was that? That was
the mature summer leaves of the horse chestnut tree. The leaves off that, crush them up with water, and makes an excellent antifungal, antibacterial soap for washing your body and things.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Dave. That is a classic one. We've got a good one in here because we're jumping backwards and forwards on here. Blank War said he's found one of the waterproof plasma lighter for £8.49 on eBay. So there we go.
I've just paid £11.99 for mine.
You get it, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'll tell you a little tip. Go through cashback, what they call it, and you can get percentage off from that as well. So
yeah,
if you want to do it that way.
The makers, the manufacturer of the French military issue woodland camo Gore-Tex bivvy bag with the central zip, which I was referring to earlier, is built by a firm called Chantenay, which is a military contractor, and the quality is just far better than the British Army Gore-Tex bivvy bag. But they're £50, but you'll get a brand new one, unissued.
Really?
And it's going to last you forever.
Yeah.
It's also got a Chantenay.
Yeah.
And the build quality is absolutely phenomenal. It reminds me of the kind of material in the Corinthia bivvy bag, and they're extremely expensive. They're like £350. But these are £50 unissued. And if you want a bivvy bag, the viewer that was saying that she'd bought this £10 bivvy bag, I'd probably use it as a waterproof bag to line your rucksack with to keep your gear dry, but I wouldn't sleep in it.
That's
these £10 bivvy bags are waterproof, but you could use them as a Bergen liner to line your rucksack to keep any clothes dry that you've got in there. It's like a waterproof liner for your rucksack. And they are useful for that and quite cheap at £10, but don't sleep in one.
I've got you. That's brilliant advice, because Charmaine was just saying that she's 68, or Charmaine 68, won't be using it outside for if utilities are switched off. Yes, Good enough. Yes.
Again, if your utilities get switched off and you even use it to keep your legs warm, this waterproof Bivvy bag, it will up to a certain extent, but over an extended period, condensation will appear in there. Your legs and feet will get wet. You could end up with serious hypothermia, even in the home if you've got no heating.
Yeah, that's a good point. But we've got Rebecca. Hello, Rebecca. Rebecca Green. Are you the person that does the archery? So please, I get muddled up with names. So if you're not the person that does the archery, I'm terribly sorry.
No, I don't do archery. I do have a crossbow, but that's not like archery, is it? Really?
Well, that was a question.
I'm not an archer, but I do know how to manufacture a longbow from just primitive items in the woods, and I'd have to probably practice to get anywhere good with it. But I have a number of other food gathering skills that I'd rather do than build a bow and arrow, to be fair. It's very labour intensive, and hunting is haphazard even for the highly skilled.
Yes, and also I've got a question this afternoon which we wouldn't be allowed to go into about self-defense, so we can't go down there. But I would advise going onto YouTube to Todd's workshop or the Slingshot channel, and he shows you how to make things in case of you like archery and you like to practice archery. That's
Jorg Sprav from the Slingshot channel.
That's it. Yes.
Jorg Sprav. Yeah.
Let me show you its features.
A very good impression of him as well. Yeah.
What gets me is out in the snow, freezing cold, in a t-shirt and jeans. You wouldn't want to. Let's put it this way: you wouldn't want to argue with him, would you?
No.
But he's brilliant. He really is brilliant. And but the trouble is with any weaponry, if somebody comes towards you, you've got to know how to use that skillfully and with practice, because they can turn it on you, and it can be more of a hindrance than an asset. So my view is always to hide, get out of the way, and low profile. And that's why I wear green, black, dark colours, so that you just blend into, in a cityscape, you blend into.
Right, I'm sorry about this. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. Well, actually, whilst he's gone, we'll talk about him. Now, I'm going to show people my primer stove and primer stickers, and people say, "How disgusting! I've never seen anything so rude in all my life." Well, whilst Dave's gone, I'm very much into primer stoves over gas stoves, but they are dangerous. And I contacted a shop today. Here they are. They're called tillylampsandstoves.com, and a very, very pleasant gentleman on there at tillylampsandstoves.com came on, and I spoke to him. And I've got two primer stoves, one built in 1938 and one built in 1939, which one of them belonged to my father, the other one belonged to my uncle. And this is what primer stoves look like. Here they are.
Yes.
And my one's a little bit more sophisticated than that, but that is a basic primer stove. And what you do, you put some spirit in the spirit cup, light it, it warms the top, then you pressurize it, and boom, off it goes. And it sounds like a jet plane revving up when it goes. It's far, in my view, it's far superior to gas, but there is a fire risk with them. And scouts used to use them, and they health and safety said, no, this is what the gentleman told me at this, where is it, Tilly Lamps place, because that's the only place you can get parts for them now. You could, it's probably the in the world, he's sending them all over the world, and the scouts got rid of all their primer stoves, and they went over to what do they call it? And then they discovered that they're dangerous, so they're trying to go back to primer stoves now. But do you think I ought to show the ladies my primer prickers?
I think you should.
I should. Last time, right, here we go. There it is. Oh, there it is. I'm relieved now. Look at that. And what you do, you use that primer's pricker. There's a little hole in the top of the primer stove, and you have to use it to clear shit out of the hole.
Yeah.
like that, and they go. But I think Dave's going to, I've just been talking about primer stoves, and I think Dave's going to give me a bit of an earful about how dangerous they are and how unwise it is to use them indoors. So over to you, Dave.
Well, it's definitely dangerous to use primer stoves indoors, but not for the reasons that most people might imagine. They're very unlikely to explode, but the problem with it is they run on unleaded fuel, and what they've used to replace the lead in the old leaded fuel, in the new unleaded, is a substance called benzene, and you don't want to be anywhere near that. You really don't want to be anywhere near that.
Dave, can I come in there? Because there are petrol stoves. You can get them there from Russian Army surplus. These run on kerosene or paraffin. My one runs on paraffin.
That's a whole different item, and absolutely fantastic for an indoor stove. Paraffin or kerosene, brilliant. I wouldn't recommend using a petrol stove indoors at all.
But these, I'll just sort of show the picture again. These use paraffin, but kerosene is a lot cheaper. It's 70 pence a litre with kerosene, and paraffin's about 125 a litre. If you go to home base, it's 11.95 for 4 litres. So that shows you. But
so the new primer stoves run on unleaded petrol. This is why I was talking about being cautious with them, because the viewers are very unlikely to find one like yours. Yours being from the 1930s. They'll look at a new primer stove, which is a pressurized petrol stove, and they might think, that's safe to use because the paraffin ones are, but the petrol ones really are. And I wouldn't recommend it at all.
This place actually had them made. He made replicas for a time, and they are the place to go to. TillyLampsandStoves.com. And what this bloke doesn't know about primer stoves, and we're talking about the paraffin and kerosene ones. He's not worth knowing anyway. We had a good conversation this afternoon because don't laugh, I was after primers prickers to clear the jets, and I love primer stoves because they're so cheap to run, and also the fuel for them. A litre you can run, I think, for 8 hours on a litre. That's what, 70 pence, £1.25. You get a gas stove, you're lucky if it lasts a couple of hours, if that.
I was going to say 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours, and with you find with a primer stove, with a gas stove, you put a kettle of water on there and you wait, It's like washing wood wool. Primer stove, once that's going, it's almost as quick as electric. The water's boiling. And
they are very good.
Phenomenal.
I do have a different one myself. I have a Anave 3-legged wood burning stove, which folds up and the chimney goes inside it, and it goes in a bag to be portable. Now the beauty of this is you can stick the chimney out of an open window. You can stick the chimney out through the roof or out of you can knock an hole in your chimney breast and stick it in there. Take advantage of your chimney if you want.
Yeah.
And the beauty of it is, differently to any alcohol stoves or any primer stoves, is because it's a wood burning stove, you can just get wood out of skips, or if you're stuck in a shelter in place situation, you can remove every other floorboard and still maintain floor integrity if you're in an upstairs flat, and you can have quite a lot of fuel out your floorboards in an emergency, and it will heat your whole room as well as cook your food. And if you've got one of the they're not new, but one of the thermoelectric cooking pots where it's got a heat exchanger on the bottom, so you put cold water in the pot and then put the pot with the heat exchanger in on top of your stove, and the difference between the cold water and the hot stove creates a current, and you can actually charge items up like you can with a solar panel, but just without any sunlight. These are excellent, and I keep meaning to get one, but I've got that many things that I don't know. I keep saying I'm going to get one, but I'm waiting for the technology to get a bit better, because you're only getting a small voltage out of them at the moment, and they're only for emergency use. I'm pretty sure when they get the technology, well, if they get a chance to get the technology up a bit better, the thermoelectric exchanger pots will be good to go for charging up things like the plasma arc lighter, which means you'll always be able to light the stove that it's on.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a self-fueling item.
Yeah.
That is brilliant. And I think also it's important to have a bag ready, so at a moment's notice, if you have to leg it pretty quick, you've got everything packed in and ready. And the other thing is to get a military food packs. Some market stores sell them for 48 hours. Because and only use it in an emergency. So if you can't get food, it will keep you going. But all you'll have is 48
hour wrap pack,
pack, which will be high protein. It'll give you some energy.
I've drifted more towards a large plastic jar of peanut butter on its own.
Really?
Because I can quite easily turn 2 teaspoons full of peanut butter into 10 kilos of meat, because animals find it irresistible. And if you know how to construct traps competently, you can. It's the ultimate bait for all animals. Nothing can resist peanut butter. So you might think you've got, maybe a few calories in a teaspoonful of peanut butter that might keep you going for a short while. But if you can just not eat it and use it to attract squirrels, rats, rabbits, dogs, cats, or anything else that's roaming about, you can feed yourself for a very long time on a couple of teaspoonful of peanut butter. And there isn't an army ration pack anywhere that'll do that. It works at fish find it irresistible. So you could set up 10 automatic fishing poles with obviously for those that are more knowledgeable, this kind of trigger where the fish bites the hook and pulls the L7 bushcraft trigger out, and a bent branch pulls the fish up. You can set 10 of them up, and it's like having 10 blokes sat fishing all day for you. And you just need a small amount of peanut butter smashed around the hook, and it's actually waterproof. It won't fall off for quite a long while, so it's very useful for fish bait. I do respect people that revere the military ration packs, and they are excellent. But I've just come to the conclusion that more bang for your buck is in a jar of peanut butter because of its numerous.
And plus the fact you're carrying one thing with your jar of peanut butter, whereas you're carrying quite a few things with your 48-hour wrap pack.
It saves a lot of space and weight.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's a good point. That's a very good point. I take it. I take that. That's an excellent point. But the trouble is, would it attract scavenging MPs and things? Well, I don't think you want to eat one of those because
if you wanted to attract scavenging MPs, from what I've learned, you need like an 8-year-old child.
Oh yes.
Put it out. Stake it out. That's true.
As a bait,
No politician can resist that.
You're right there. Sadly.
We got lots of questions. What do you think? This one's Louise. We got here. Charmaine, bless you, heart. If not a sleeping bag for outside survival, then a simple sleeping bag with extra blankets, bless you. Or, as Dave said, a Bivvy sleeping bag. It was around 50 notes. That French one.
Yeah, and that's bargain of the century. I can assure you that will last you a lifetime because they're unissued, they're brand new.
Yes, that's right. Because the British Army sleeping bags, you can't buy them new. So you don't know who slept in it. So someone with
you can buy them new from Silverman's if you want to fund that gentleman and his ilk.
Yes.
Silverman's.
Yes.
As in Silverman's. They do them new.
Says, how are you all? Oh, we're that kind.
Yeah, we're not bad.
Not bad. And what we got here now. Do you think we've got a bit of got to lift the spirits a bit, because we might have a Pearl and D type advert coming up soon?
Oh yeah,
it's the one we did the other week, but I've actually bought the product, so you'd be able to see it in use. Now it says here Louise Wilcox. It's always a good one. Oh, by the way, that chili lamp place I think is up near you, Louise. Don't forget, if we are in survival mode, you will need to find fuels for the stoves. Good point. Yeah, but this is for home, domestic. Yeah. This is domestic. Whereas you only need to find wood for a fire. Yes. Yeah. Now, if you are, I wouldn't. Let's put it this way, Louise.
Yeah, this is why
I wouldn't. You can't carry a primer stove. It's too bloody big.
Yeah, well, the tripod Anave wood burning stove is also too big and heavy to be a bug out stove. On the first show I did, I demonstrated the Bushcraft Essentials Bushbox XL folding wood burner, which is no wider than your hand and fits in a cargo pocket of your trousers, if you remember it. One of John's friends is actually buying mine because I've got too many of them now.
Right.
So I'm selling that one, and they are absolutely excellent and very well pointed out by Louise there that you need to find fuel. We are talking about domestic survival, as in shelter in place in this episode, as far as I'm aware. No,
that's right.
My Anave tent stove is designed for like glamping. It's a tent stove.
Right.
It's got like a silicone stove jack that protects the tent material from the heat of the chimney. Now you can use that stove jack, say if you was in a house without a chimney or without any windows that are open, you'll smash your window out and then replace it with a piece of plywood, and then stick the silicon stove jack on the plywood to make the whole watertight and heat proof for the chimney to go out there by not burning the wood panel that you've replaced your window with, and you've got a fully installed wood burning stove that'll save your life all winter.
Yeah,
that's good advice. But I mean, with these primer stoves, I was going to build one of these stealth camper vans. They're the ones where you don't have windows in, and you could park anywhere. And instead of having the usual gas type stoves, I was going to use a couple of primer stoves in there, because with a special thing where if they get a bit out of control, I can just drop the lid and the fire's quelled. The only trouble is you do get a lot of condensation with them and things like that, but as long as you have an open window. But they would be super efficient, but it takes about 5 minutes to start them. But once they go, they're really going. But this is
your stealth fan idea is something I'm quite interested in, because the Anave tripod wood burning stove lends itself perfectly to a stealth fan. Yeah, because if you look on the roof of your vans that you're referring to, you find a lot of them that's got a spinning vent on that the wind blows around. Now they're removable, and there's an hole in the roof already, which means you can stick the stove jack, the silicon stove jack from the Anave wood burning stove out through that hole. And the beauty of this is, with what we're referring back to what Chris said about it being a stealth van without any windows and things. With it being a takedown stove that's collapsible, when you're not using it, you can take the stove jack off, put the spinning fan back on, and all the stove goes into its own bag. And then if you was to get stopped by law enforcement, all you're doing is transporting a few household goods. You're not living in it. I mean, you could have quite a large van. You'd have a bed settee, and then you'd have maybe a caravan sink unit with an hand pump on that comes on and off the wall. And my idea of it is to have everything removable and packable, so that when you're not using it, it's just household goods. And then imagine being pulled under the new whatever it is act that prevents gypsies existing in their
travellers, something or other.
Travellers, that's right. Yes,
they can then stop you and say, right, we think you're living a nomadic lifestyle. What have you got in the back? And then if it's not been altered, there's no permanent alterations. It's just a panel van, and maybe it's been boarded out, but that's not counted as a modification.
No.
You plywood it out and stick bubble wrap behind the plywood. You've got a perfectly insulated stealth van for nothing.
Yep.
And then you can say, well, I've just got a few household goods in there. feel free to have a look. And then they open
Yeah.
the back, and just a few boxes and bags and a sofa stood on its end.
Yeah.
What are they going to do?
That's right.
Not a thing.
You've won.
That's right. And also, bubble wrap on the windscreen stops condensation.
Yeah, definitely.
Bags of salt and things like that.
So people building these camper vans, I see them a lot on YouTube, spending thousands of pounds having them professionally insulated and things. And all you need is plywood and then stuff bubble wrap behind it. It does exactly the same job for peanuts.
Yeah, it does.
Good point. Good point. Someone he has put into this. Marilyn Henderson's put VA, the capital
Vark Tech.
Hmm.
Right. I'm in the dark on that.
I'm on the dark on that as well.
I don't know what.
Yes.
Please explain. Dora's put Vask Tech.
Now, this is a question that normally comes up. This is from Aunt Sally. Hello, Aunt Sally. Does Dave have a website or Telegram channel?
I don't know. I tend to keep myself to myself, and I've only recently started going online in this ridiculous disguise because I'm trying to help people, because I believe that it's imminent that they're going to need some kind of equipment. It's fair enough that they might not be able to learn loads of survival knowledge in a short time, but there's simple pieces of equipment that you can get now. I haven't got any channels. I don't have a YouTube channel. I'm not really interested in trying to make any money out the internet. I'm only here to try and help people who might benefit from some of my knowledge.
Yes. Well, actually, you could always switch the camera off, and so I don't have to wear a disguise then. So
I could do, but I want to appear to be able to.
I think you're right.
Things
it's
like
nice to see the person.
If the camera was off, I wouldn't have been able to show people.
Yeah, spot on.
That's
You're
true.
absolutely
That's the main reason why I haven't blacked it out.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's why I look a bit stupid, but I don't really care.
Oh no, you don't. But you were saying before we came on air, Dave, that there's something being passed through the Commons at the moment, about the Official Secrets Act, which is
absolutely terrifying, and it's not being talked about. You've got Boris having his Christmas parties and talking about his tidal waves of various alleged pathogens going around. I'll use my words carefully.
Thanks,
and that's designed to divert public attention from the bill that Priti Patel's putting through Parliament as we speak, and it's an amendment to the Official Secrets Act. I'm sure that a lot of the knowledgeable viewers that we've got know that when you're a civil servant and you sign the Official Secrets Act, you're making yourself liable to 5 years imprisonment if you release any classified information or publish any of it, which that's always been the case. Now, this is now being changed to not just people who've signed the Official Secrets Act, but anybody. And they've changed the definition of the offence as well. It's distributing or publishing any information which may be a risk to national security. And they've upped the jail sentence from 5 years to 14 years. So imagine somebody on Twitter saying something that the government may think is going to cause other people to copy them and get large numbers of people resisting whatever agenda is currently being foisted upon the population. You're going to give that person 14 years in prison.
Yeah.
Scandalous.
And everybody who agrees with him or reposts him is going to get 14 years in prison.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not trying to scare people here, but it's obviously, if enough people are resisting tyranny, then none of it's going to be enforceable anyway. But if they do get the population down to a level where it is enforceable, that's a big problem for those that are left.
Yeah, it is.
You're right. You're spot on right there. I mean, it's very disturbing. It's the boiling frog routine, isn't it? It's if you put a frog in boiling water, it jumps straight out. But if you put it in cool water and just gradually heat it up, they'll just swim around quite normally. But
the phrase was coined by the great James Corbett last time I looked at the origins of it.
Yes, that's right. But by the way, I must add in that Professor Gloria Moss, she's coming on a later show. she's going to. I've given her. I found the contact details for that Belgian chap who is a professor in Ghent. Is that have I pronounced that correctly? In Belgium, the University of Ghent, and he's the one that looks into this 30-40-30 theory, which is that 30% of people believe everything the establishment says, 40% will go with the flow, and 30% are us who can see straight through that will rebel. So that's why the authorities are always going for the 40% in the middle. And my view is when you come up against the 30%, who are sort of so brainwashed, just don't bother to waste your breath with them because they're dead meat as far as I'm concerned. They've gone. Yeah. But someone's put something interesting. Agent Ruby has put an interesting one in here. Well, actually, Agent Ruby said, first of all, I know everything will go down. All this is important. I spoke on radio in 2012 to warn people it will all be needed and to start slowly the prepping bit by bit. Ancient Ruby has gone on to say, I find anything. Now, this is an interesting one. I think anything smokeless is best in case many come to your door and will kill to survive.
This is a very, very good point. A very good point that Ruby's raised there. I'd like to address that point now.
Yes.
The Anave stove, which I have, and I do swear by it, has a baffle inside, which is known as an air wash to people who know about stove manufacture. But it's a kind of a staggered barrier system where the fumes have got to go over one piece of metal, under another, and over another before they get to the chimney. Now, this allows something called, you might have heard of it, it's called secondary combustion, whereby the gas, which is released by the fuel, combusts before it gets to the chimney. And therefore, when you do initially start the stove up, you do get a bit of smoke, mainly due to condensation as the inside of the stove is heating up to combust the fuel. But after that, it is a smokeless system if it's got a baffle air wash in it. Yeah. And very well pointed out by the viewer, you do not want palls of black smoke piling out of your flat window if you're trying to maintain a low profile from possible marauders, which may not have prepared for anything and might want to steal your items. So I wouldn't get any stove that hasn't either got a built-in air wash or hasn't been modified by whoever's bought it to run basically smokeless. This is an important item, and well done to the viewer for bringing that up.
Yeah, that's
always use an air wash stove which has a baffle in that it allows it to burn the wood gas as well as the fuel, because unburnt wood gas is carbonized smoke and it goes out. Yeah, and it will bring the
only giving out smoke signals, aren't you? Really?
Yeah, it's not good.
I think you're talking about a rocket stove there, aren't you, Dave? Because
a rocket stove achieves 100% combustion virtually. Yeah. That's down to the. I mean, you're a rocket stove aficionado, and
thank you. I've made one.
The rocket stove is brilliant, but it's for outdoor use only.
That's right.
And if you haven't actually got a rocket stove, because Chris has made an excellent point about rocket stoves being smokeless, they are naturally smokeless due to the enormous amount of heat created in the burn chamber by them being insulated. And if you haven't got a rocket stove and you're still outside and you can't risk any smoke, but you still need a fire, it's quite an important skill to have. You might have heard of it. I don't know. It's called the Dakota fire hole. It's a survivalist's fire used by special forces behind enemy lines when they can't afford to have any visible smoke or I hasten to add, a visible flame, because you'll dig a hole, maybe 18-inch deep, and then you'll dig another hole the same depth, maybe a foot away from it, and then get your arm down and dig a tunnel between the two holes.
Right.
Now, one hole, the larger hole, is your combustion chamber, right? And the other hole provides airflow underneath the fuel, right?
Right, yeah.
Thereby generating secondary combustion within one chamber, not needing a baffle to create secondary wood gas combustion. And this Dakota fire hole is the go-to covert fire for special forces behind enemy lines who haven't got a rocket stove or don't want to take the time making a rocket stove out of a fallen tree, which you can do quite easily if you know what you're doing. But it's just a question of digging 2 holes. You might need a small shovel or a digging stick if you've got no shovel. And this will create not only a smokeless fire, but a fire where the flame is within the hole. And if you build a berm, a bank of earth around the fire once it's going, lateral viewing on a flat plane like that won't be possible. Anybody looking from a distance with a pair of binoculars won't be able to see a flame.
Won't see anything. Right.
So you've got no smoke and no fire, therefore you're not going to get detected. So good point that you've raised about the rocket stove.
Yeah.
It reminded me about the Dakota fire hole in a dire emergency.
Yeah.
But
always good to know.
We got one here. We got a load of questions here. What was it? I just noticed about habeas corpus. Here it is. Louise Wilcox, about what we were saying earlier. The new bill will also includes removal of habeas corpus law, which means that they can put someone in prison indefinitely without good cause or lawful reasoning. This is all fear-mongering to frighten us. Yes,
that's correct. That's a
correct.
very good point by Louise again. A very knowledgeable viewer, if you don't mind me saying. And and worse still, when the Coronavirus Act was brought in, I don't know if any of your viewers have read it in detail, or you have, Chris. I don't know, but
no, I haven't actually.
Part way down it, they've actually changed the criteria for detaining somebody under the Mental Health Act. At one time, you used to have 3 psychiatrists to declare somebody mentally ill, and thereby detain them for 28 days without trial under the Mental Health Act. And then after which you needed a review, you was granted a review by law where 3 psychiatrists can then declare you okay to be released into society. Now, that's what the Mental Health Act always has been, but it's now, as part of the Coronavirus Act, has been changed in significant ways. And firstly, they now only need 1 doctor to declare somebody mentally ill, not 3, right? And secondly, and more importantly, the 28-day limit has been removed. So you're detained indefinitely.
And that's what happens in the
somebody says, I tell you what, I think he might be mentally ill because he's not accepting this medical treatment that we recommend.
Yeah,
I'll leave it at that. I mean, I'm sure you know what I'm referring to.
I know exactly what you mean. And I know this is what similar happened in the former Soviet Union. That anybody that opposed the system were put indefinitely into a mental asylum because anybody who doesn't go with the system is obviously mental. And I've noticed they're trying to do that with the free people and people that are not toxin free, you know, and they're kind of making us look as if we are sort of mental people and that type of thing. So that is quite something.
I believe this is a significant issue, and people need to really be preparing for a lot of different possibilities here.
Yeah,
not least of which would be a good grounding in escape and evasion knowledge.
Yeah,
in case it comes to. I mean, God forbid, rounding people up, dragging them out their houses and taking them to internment camps like they are in Australia.
Yeah.
You know,
yes.
If you think that that's going to happen, you have really no choice but to bug out and evade capture. And if you do get pulled in, you need to have a lot of knowledge of escape and evasion tactics to then regain your freedom.
Yeah.
You're spot on there, Dave. Yeah, I agree with you.
It's something that I'm, as I see it as just another branch of my survival knowledge, and I'm quite well versed in escape and evasion techniques and things on a lot of levels. But again, it's something that you've got to be a kind of a bit of a freak to learn, I suppose. And, you know,
Well, I think all this stuff's good.
You've got to. It's self-preservation.
Yeah.
Because, well, let's put it this way: 2.5 years ago, if somebody would explain what's going to happen, you'd have gone, "Come on." Well, probably we wouldn't have done, but we would have thought it's a bit pushy.
Nah. Yeah. That'd never happen.
If there was a film about it, we'd have gone, "Phew, frightening film," but it never happened.
Yeah.
But it has. And this is the thing, you know. And now, Ancient Ruby has said, I'm sorry if I'm missing some of comments. Please don't take it personally. We've got a lot in. At present, I have a Provence stove, yet it's gas. I've never heard of a Provence stove. Sorry.
No.
No.
No, I mean, it sounds like if it's a gas stove, it's a reasonably safe stove and it'll be okay to burn inside the home. Again, the problem with them is the fuel source is finite. I recommend that if anybody really wants to start preparing for a shelter-in-place plan, which I recommend over bugging out, because I can assure you that if you think yourself, I tell you what, I reckon I'm going to go and live in the woods, right? That'll be a massive problem for a high percentage of the population, because it's nothing like you think it's going to be. It's much harder. Now, this is why we've got this episode up about domestic survival, and I really think that if they're interested in it and they want to plan for it, you just sit there on your sofa in a quiet moment, and I recommend that all the viewers or anybody who's interested in it just sits there and fully graphically imagines a position where the government switch off the gas, water, and electric all at once. What you're going to do?
Yeah.
You're spot on there.
You want to be looking at yourself and saying,
how would I cope with that?
In 5 minutes, there's no water coming out the tap. There's no electric in the wires. There's no gas coming out the pipes, and I can't flush the toilet anymore. I can't have any utilities. This is the position you have to imagine yourself in. And you've got to put measures in place so that none of this affects you.
Yeah.
That's what you need. That's where I am. I can absolutely assure everyone, if they switch the gas, water, and electric off in half an hour, right? The only problem I'll have is I won't have had a chance to say good night before it all goes off.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm just going to be laughing.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. And I think that water straw is a must.
Yeah.
Absolute must. For 20 quid, your life's worth more than 20 quid. I'd have a couple of them just in case.
Yeah.
I mean, this is massively important because I make sure that I'm in a position where the government or anybody else can't prevent me from providing food, water, shelter, heat, and light. Them 5 things, if you can provide all them for yourself and those you care about, you've got nothing to fear.
Yeah.
And the fear don't work.
The other thing that you could do, I mean, I'm into cycling as well as driving. You see, the thing is, they'll have all the roadblocks. Look at Auckland, New Zealand. You can't get out of Auckland, New Zealand because of roadblocks. But if you've got a bike and you can make your own bike caravan where you're off the ground, which is lightweight, you might be able to survive for a little while out in the wilds, but only for a little while. But with a push bike, you can travel quite a long distance without that much effort and
That's
off
correct.
the track and off the roads. And as long as you've got a mountain bike, something that's bloody sturdy, then not an electric one, but just a basic bike, even single gear will do. Something that is low maintenance.
Excellent point.
This is what I'm thinking of making. Actually, is a caravan bike. Sort of a caravan that you can look on the back. Little small thing, very light, but it keep you
like
off
a
the
teardrop.
ground.
Like a teardrop caravan.
That's right. Yeah, and you can see them open up like a shell, and you can go loads of places off grid, and just get out of the way, just low profile. But now we got here. There's an interesting one in Charmaine. Hello, Charmaine. Dave, what was name of stove for indoors? Will it work in a small open fireplace?
The name is Annevay, ANNEVAY. an Anave stove.
Anave
And it's
stove.
got 3 legs and it's folding. It goes in its own carry bag. And I've actually got the strap. It's a clamp on water heater with a tap on it that goes round the chimney and sits on the back end of the stove. So this means you've got unlimited hot water while ever the stove's running. I've decided to have that as well with it. So
Good
it
idea.
comes as an optional extra. Anave stove.
That's interesting. Now we got here Robert Moore. I wonder if there is a way to bait, capture, and loot bandit and marauder like an apocalypse DoorDash. I'll take that ammo and clothes, thank you. Well, I don't think you'll be taking any ammo in this country because in the UK they've took all our GUNs away, haven't they? In 1920 Firearms Act. So that's a sad situation. So how do you feel, Dave? Shall we have a little break and cheer the things that we're a bit sad? Shall we cheer the
Have an ad break.
So what do you think? Have a break?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, we'll have a show it. Well, this is an old one that I did a couple of weeks, this Pearl and D, but I don't think you've seen it. Have you seen the aftershave ad?
No.
No. So if you've seen the aftershave ad, I'll let you into a secret. Well, we'll just see just the beginning of the aftershave ad, shall we? So I've lost it. Oh, where it is. So are we ready for the Pearl and Dean? Here it comes. Are you into piercings and look like a greasy chip shop with your tattoos? Then you need Stalpiss Aftershave. Do you want to dress like a Peruvian ponce? Well, come along to Fockham Hall Fashions and you can look like some spiv from the 1970s. Yes, with these glossy shoes and, oh, I think he's going to ride. Yes, I've now got my Fockham Hall rainmack on, thanks. I think he's using that Stalpiss aftershave, isn't he? Poor bloody hell. Well, you come along to the... Well, there we go. Well, I've actually bought some. So what do you think?
Very amusing, mate.
Beautiful.
That's it. A little bit behind the ears.
Lovely. Yes. So
That'll attract the ladies. Or flies.
Female flies, I think it would. Actually, it really does. No, it's not what you think it is. No, it's actually had health food tablets in this. Paul, bloody hell, it smells like Stalpiss aftershave.
Nice.
But right, so we got a lot more questions in comments. Have you got any?
Ancient Ruby's wanting Dave to spell that stove again, please.
Oh,
ANNEVAY.
ANNEVAY.
Anave tent stove.
Anave, right. Thank you.
Yeah, excellent. We got quite a few in here. They all want us unv.
Sorry, I'll just have a correction here, if you don't mind, Chris.
Certainly.
No double N in Anave.
Ah.
It's a single N. ANNEVAYstoves.com.
That's interesting. Okay. And they want all us unv in cats, but actually we're not saying unv anymore. Because
free. We're free.
Sue, that's right. Sue brought this up. It was her idea. So thanks, Sue, for this.
Yes.
I haven't had permission to use her surname, so I won't until unless she says yes. And she said the word "un" is negative. It's unhygienic, unclean, but free, sugar-free, poison-free. It's positive. So we are free and toxin-free. So all three of us are free of it. So we're clean. So it's nice, isn't it? Clean and
freaky.
And it says if we bank directly with central banks, they can see and control all our transactions. It's not just a matter of just digital currency. Well, this is why it's a good idea to it's another. I know I'm going off subject, but we might have. I know very little about it, but the late great Dave Starbuck was very much. He knew a lot. He knew his money. He knew about gold, and he said, "People say, oh, buy silver and that, but gold." And he said, "Don't buy jewelry, buy coins."
Yeah.
And he said, "It ain't yours unless it's in your hand."
Yeah.
Very wise man.
I've actually invested in silver.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of reasons. Silver is involved in a lot of manufacturing, and currently, if everybody who's got silver stock in paper certificates, where you might buy 10 kilos of silver and you'll get a paper certificate to say you own it. If everybody who currently owns silver certificates asked for their physical silver, it'd take the silver mining industry over 7 months to catch up with demand for industry and cause the silver to go exponentially high in a very short period of time. It'll go up by probably 8,000% in a week if that happened. And also, silver is very, very useful as a medicine if you know what you're doing with it.
Yes.
It's good for healing.
John wants to make a comment, and I think he's earned it.
I won't come on the screen.
No.
I won't come on the screen.
So that's a real good one. That is with silver, because there was a thing, wasn't it, that you could actually get silver nitrate. Is it silver? But you used to drink.
You can get plasters with silver in it.
Yeah, I mean, I've had these arm rashes and things, and I just got a kilo of silver and rubbed it on it, and I've never had it since.
Yeah.
Well, do you know why the Victorians put brass door handles on public lavatories and public buildings? It's because
antibacterial,
and they don't do that anymore. It's all stainless steel. And,
I didn't know that. Yeah, right. John's trying to say something here.
Let him have his shelf.
Yeah. So what was it, John? Trying to go chip in about silver,
John's trying to speak, mate. If that's all right.
Hello, John. No, can't hear him. Yeah. Could you do all the like the sign language?
Oh,
so
there he is.
I can't believe what. No.
Can't hear you, John.
We can't hear you. All I can can't say bloody.
No?
Yes, I had one of those. The wheel fell off. What?
Can you hear me?
Sorry?
Right. He's passing him over, look.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
It's a directional microphone, so we couldn't
hear
you.
I think the microphone must just only be, have a narrow band like that, because I was only sat next to him.
I know.
Right.
So what was it? It was...
I won't be able to hear you. Right. Okay. So the point I was going to make about gold and silver investing is that Gerard Salenti, who's a well-known trends forecaster, and who is very, very, very accurate, has predicted that gold and silver will go up 80-fold in the next 2 years.
Right.
And he knows what he's talking about. That was a prediction last week.
Right.
That's right.
But it won't be immediate. He said nothing will happen for perhaps a year, but in the next 2 to 3 years, it's going to go up in the region of 80-fold, he estimates. And he knows what he's talking about. So anyway, back to Dave. Sorry about that. Oh, by the way, I'm going to reveal Dave's real identity.
Oh, yeah.
You all wondered what the hell happened to Matt Hancock, didn't you?
Yes.
Well, don't let that fake Yorkshire accent fool you at all.
No. Not, it isn't, is it?
Surely not.
Oh, someone's got a good idea here. It says
Where?
This is Louise Wilcox. City sewers may stink, but are big enough to use for people. Plus, heat detection is harder. Yes, look at what happened.
Very good point again by Louise. Obviously, she's correct. She is correct. City sewers definitely stink. And they're big enough to use for escape. plus they beat the thermal imaging. However, I don't know if Louise was tuned in on one of our previous shows where I was allowed to come on here, but I was demonstrating escape and evasion via defeating thermal imaging equipment with
Oh yes, that was it. Yes,
Mylar Bivvy bag. Now, Mylar Bivvy bag. Now, it's made of the same stuff as heat retention survival blankets, but it's camouflage on the outside and Mylar on the inside. And if you get inside that, you've got no visible heat signature from an helicopter thermal imaging camera. You're invisible.
Yeah.
brilliant.
So, and
Because
it's
now,
a
yes,
lot cleaner than running down into the sewers, and a lot more of a pleasant experience. But Louise is quite right. The sewers are an advantage because they do defeat the thermal imaging detection systems, as does the bag which I was referring to. But the sewers are also making you bulletproof because you can't be shot. Whereas if you're in a Mylar survival bag, you could just die in a hail of bullets if they've got a rough idea where you are. So good advantage with the sewers, but I'd be very cautious of crawling down a sewer if you've got any skin lesions, because field medicine is a problem if you get kind of bad sepsis and things like that. You can cure it, but it's a bit hit and miss.
Yeah.
You've got a good point there. But the Battle of Stalingrad was fought down the sewers, most of that, because it was a terrible winter and the German forces went into the sewers.
Yeah, and if you're in the shit but you're warm, keep quiet.
Precisely. That's a good one. That is in the shit.
Definitely.
Do you ever Spike Milligan? He had the Royal Sewers underneath Buckingham Palace. To the brave men, the Royal Sewers, and they said, "Hang on a minute, Her Majesty's flushing, surgeon." And
yeah, that's it. Yeah, brilliant.
Their job was to separate the royal sewage from the commoners. So that
and that's how the commoners got fed. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here, would it?
That's right.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, in the dark and fed on shit like mushrooms. Not anymore.
Not anymore.
No. Oh no,
definitely not.
Ancient Ruby's got a good one here. Everyone says, has anyone seen real evidence of the camps in Australia? Because I see actors in what I see, and being many not banned, I think it could be more fear. You have a very good point there.
Excellent point. I mean, what better way to strike fear into the Western population than to show unfortunate individuals that have been harvested and interned in concentration camps in Australia? What if they're
propaganda.
Not real? What if it's just propaganda? What a brilliant point.
Well, Aunt Sally's back that up. I back that. Aunt Sally's back that up.
Ruby made that point. John said excellent point. And if John says it's an excellent point, believe
it's an excellent point.
Well, it says I do suspect that a lot of the stuff we are hearing about from Australia is fear propaganda.
Yeah.
Like how would we know if there were only 5 people in those camps? Maybe they're the social media active. But you're spot on. What do you remember that in China where people are being dead on the floor?
Something there.
Yeah.
I remember that people. But it's funny. They all died in sort of kind of not sort of like that, but also sort of as if okay, you stand there, you lie there, and you lie just there. It's a lot of it is because I think what they do, they over fear, because with fear you can control problem, reaction, solution.
Absolutely. I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to look at these things in a different light now. I mean, I am onto the Hegelian dialectic and things, as you can imagine. You know, one of the people I care about most in the world is John, and I get the benefit of a lot of his knowledge. So I am kind of onto a lot of the stuff, but I'd never actually thought that I'm showing people in internment camps. Yeah, because it's kind of a reverse fear porn, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like from one standpoint, you might think, oh, they're trying to keep these camps secret. They're real. But what if they don't exist, but they've got crisis actors in there pretending that they're in there? It saves all the investment for them. It saves all the logistics, and they still get the same fear porn effect.
Yeah,
very good
exactly,
point
yeah.
there, that you were, and I'm going to learn from that. I'm always learning, and I appreciate the comment.
Yeah.
Queensland's supposed to be the worst state, but I've got a friend that moved from Queensland to Cairns, which is another state which is not so bad. I think it's a bit like, it's pretty easy going. I'll have to contact her and ask her what it's like on the ground there. And now it says here, Louise Wilcox has said, Ancient Ruby, not anything real. TV is all illusion, and they have spread that illusion into internet too. Fear is their control. Fear nothing. Just be prepared and get on with it. You're spot right on there. You're
good advice, Louise, that.
And I'll tell you the other one is the rumor from. Now they did this in World War One and World War Two. Rumors of things, and they spread rumors. Like the rumor for World War Two was that they had a laser that would, or some gizmo that would fire up into the sky, and piston engine aircraft, because they didn't have jets then, would just fall out the sky. Yeah. And there was a scientist that was bumped off, they believe, by the Secret Service in Blackpool.
Yeah.
And it turns out that was all part, and that scientist did exist, and he was killed because his son wrote an article in Nexus magazine 20 years ago. So he did exist, but what they did, they don't care about lives. They just bump people off. But I don't think that laser thing ever existed, but it was all part of the propaganda.
A bit like the machines allegedly inside the TV detector vans.
Yes.
It was just a bloke sat in there with a writing pad.
Yeah. Going through your...
That's all was there.
Going through the paperwork. Yeah.
Yeah, we can tell what channel you're watching. We know you're in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that was creepy, wasn't it? I mean, who does a job like that? But, I mean, when they knock on my door and say, excuse me, you haven't got a license.
I haven't got a TV.
I say, well, you haven't got a passport. Pardon? Well, you're in an independent country now, Fockham Hall, and you need an entry visa, which is £40,000. So, and it takes about 10 years to process. So, but give us £40,000 first, and we might let you in.
Yeah, in 10 years.
That's right, in 10 years. Let's have a look. Now, it says here, this is Ancient Ruby. I heard the government are holding all gold, yet we haven't got any. Yet doing it so no one notices too much. Or I thought, well, apparently we sold all our gold when who was that one-eyed geezer that was a chancellor?
Gordon Brown.
Jordan Brown, because Mr.
Gordon Brown.
Yeah, the guy who was telephoned first before the ambulance when Maddie fell out of the flat window.
Yeah.
Her mum and dad phoned Gordon Brown first, not the doctor, not the ambulance. Why was
the media. Gordon Brown and the media.
Why was he in their phone contacts? Why was an ex-prime minister in some holidaymakers' phone contacts?
Yeah. Got a good point.
Don't make sense.
Minister.
Yeah.
Now, good point. Robert Moore says, yeah, I like copper, brass, lead. Well, whatever you get up in your private life is entirely up to you. So,
copper's a good one.
You take a joke, can't you? And now we got here, Town Crier. That rings a bell. Banks been spoofing the price of silver for over 100 years.
Artificially suppressing the price of silver.
Yeah.
We're at the peak of that now. And I believe, like John says, Gerald Salenti, who was quite a common guest on the Max Kaiser show, the Kaiser Report on RT. He is a good bloke, as John correctly pointed out. And I believe he's right about what's going to happen to silver. I'm not really into investing in gold because you get a very, very small amount unless you've got a massive budget. Whereas if you can get hold of a kilo of silver for 900 and odd quid, and when it goes up 80-fold, then the world's your oyster.
Yeah.
If you get 10 kilos.
So silver is the thing. I mean, I know
me personally, I've gone with silver because I believe if we watch it closely and we don't just neglect it, we watch it every day, it's going to get a massive spike that's going to go ballistic. And then I'm going to cash all mine in, and I'm not sure what I'm going to get, but it'll be useful.
Yeah.
Well, you're right. You're right. Because Dave Starbuck used to say, the best investment in the world is coins. He said, and we got it. And Louise Wilcox, gold and silver will increase in price prior to 2025, but it will have no intrinsically value once the system falls entirely. I think it will. Against because it's real money, whereas what we have is now. I mean,
I respect all the viewers here, but that's an incorrect comment because precious metals have got an intrinsic value, and they've always been stock in trade for thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah,
you're spot on there.
I see no reason for that to change, regardless of what they do.
Because there was a thing.
You can put it in the bottom of a sock and hit people with it as well.
Yeah, you can.
That's a very good point. There was a thing about the Vietnamese dong. Now, 20 odd years ago, people were saying, "Is it the dong, the dung, or the ding, or something like that?" And people said,
I think I've been on that website.
it was a con because it was, people have lost money out of it. And they said, "Oh, next year it's going to go up." They've been saying that for about 20 years. Now, it's I'm not going down the sewers because the dog man down there, along with alligators and crocodiles.
There's all sorts down there.
That's right.
I hope that's not a slur against our Oriental friends.
Oh, you didn't see the curry advert? You haven't been to the
the curry advert.
Oh, you got to go to the fuck of old tandoori.
Yeah, I want to go to the fucking old tandoori.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it. I don't know if Dave's seen it.
I think Dave's running from it because he realises what it is. No, I don't want to go on there. This is Town Crier. Hello, Town Crier. He's very much into coins. Gold and silver ratio going to reverse as there's more gold on the planet than silver. Yeah, you were saying that, Town. Quite interesting.
Yeah, this speaks to what I was saying about there being a shortage of silver in the manufacturing industry. The mining industry of silver can't keep up with demand as it is. And there was a campaign on Reddit and a number of other internet forums a while back trying to get everybody to demand their physical silver from the contracts that they hold. This would cause the 800-fold increase in silver value that Gerald Celente was referring to, and it'd cause it instantly. And this would bring the full banking system down. And sadly, once again, we don't seem to have the capacity to stick together for a common goal. Notice how I said common goal and not common purpose.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Good point.
Because we don't like them.
Oh, bloody hell. Don't talk to me about common purpose. They're a disease, they are. They're well, was it?
Julia from Common Purpose. NLP 101. Julia Middleton.
Oh,
clown.
Yes, I've seen all those. They're all sort of like this, aren't they? Has a common purpose,
Yeah, when I say clown, when I'm comparing it to a clown, I'm not thinking Coco the clown. I'm talking more Pennywise the clown.
Yeah. The evil clown.
There's a good one here. The Milus covers have grown also in prices. What the hell's that? Ancient ruby?
I don't know. I'm going to learn something else here.
Come on.
No, never heard of it. Sorry. Oh, and then we got here. Many old cave systems are blocked off or filled in. Here in Ohio, there are many that the original farmers filled in, but they can be opened and hidden. Yeah, but we're on. Well, I'm in Fockham Hall, and you're somewhere else, and you're in Scarbados. But you're in distress, aren't you?
I am actually. Yeah.
No, but seriously, we're in the UK, or sorry, town cry, England. The big difference.
UK, we're in the UK, mate. A despotic monarchist dictatorship where only criminals are allowed to carry guns.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm including various corrupt police forces in the category criminals.
That's right.
Yes.
They took all our guns away from us in 1920 because they had to rush the 1920 Firearms Act through, because there's all these blokes coming out of the First World War who knew how to use guns. And before 1920, you could buy guns like you could buy them in Texas, I believe. Sort of.
Yeah,
that's correct. And a more sinister development occurred with the obviously false flag, but the alleged Hungerford massacre. That's when we was prevented from having semi-automatic rifles, but that was obviously again a psyop. And then once again, we was prevented from having handguns when the alleged Scottish school massacre occurred with the Dunblane debacle that we were supposed to believe was a legit event, but it was that blatant of a Manchurian Candidate false flag hypnotized event. It's just beyond belief. So this is how we've been systematically disarmed.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. And they were very conveniently, came along. And Richard D. Hall has looked on a lot of that.
I've got a lot of time for Richard D. Hall. I like it. I like the work that he's done on a lot of things. Yeah, particularly the Joe Cox event and the Manchester noise.
Yeah.
The Manchester noise. It was a loud noise. I'm not sure what made the loud noise, but you can rest assured that it wasn't what we were told it was.
It's put a lot of work into Madeleine McCann as well.
Oh, massively. It's in where the Gordon Brown inclusion from.
I've actually met him several times. I've met him. Yeah. And when he came down south, sorry, I didn't mean to cross you there. Sorry.
No, impressive, mate. Well done.
And I wondered whether he could come on kicking and screaming onto the show one day.
Yeah.
That would be good with John.
That would have been good.
That really would be good. I can even put a feeler out.
If you can get John Hamer on here, you can certainly get him on here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping to build up sort of where we have these people like Richard D. Hall and John. I mean, I think our audience figures.
I'm going to have to object, mate. Right? I'm going to have to object there. Right?
Why? Because
there's no build-up, right? When you've already got John Hamer on here, it's not building
spot on there,
else, right?
Yep.
Spot on. So yes,
just
there's build-up.
Eat that from me.
The pinnacle.
How it is.
Yes,
it's not
John Hamer. He's the man to go to. He should be King of England, I think. This is an interesting one.
Yeah, he's the emperor. He's already the Emperor of Scarbados.
That's right. Mind you, I'm His Royal Highness of Fockham Hall.
Yeah, what am I again? I've forgotten.
I've forgotten what you are.
But actually, I wasn't a princess.
I'm thinking. By the way, as a laugh, I'm still trying to design these passports where we can all be citizens of Fockham Hall. So it doesn't matter where you are. Your plot of land can be Fockham Hall.
Fockham Hall. Yeah.
You see, and then when they say, "Shimmy, have you got a mask?" You say, "I've got
exemption,
redemption." That's it.
Yeah.
Have you got any means of ID? Yes, I'm a citizen of Fockham Hall. And so it could sort of, because in Fockham Hall these things are don't bother about them. Anyway, talking of actors, Emmon says, I think the murder of Dr. Noack, the guy who was talking about sharp graphene, we won't in the V's. Yeah, I won't skip over that. You can understand, mate. Was a toast. But that might be too off topic. You got a good point. Good to add in the mix. Yes. Now it says here, Louise says, if the camps were meant to be kept secret, then the world wouldn't know until 50 years too
Yeah.
late.
agree
We
with
need
that.
to get Louise Wilcox on here.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Because
Get
we
on.
certainly
I've never seen so many absolutely accurate and pertinent comments and questions from any other
Yeah.
viewer as I have from Louise Wilcox over
Yeah.
the short time that I've been on here. I don't know what she's been saying when I haven't been here, but all I can say is massive credit to Louise Wilcox for these questions and comments.
Nice comment as well. The last comment she's just made is very nice as well. For John.
Well,
Bottom
right.
up.
I'll tell you
Read
something.
that out then.
This is an open invitation, Louise. You can go onto the website, you know, my email address, or you can contact, you know, John's email address from the websites. So there's an open invitation for you there. So if you want to come on, just say. And you don't have to show your face. It's okay, you know. Look at Colin, he doesn't when he comes on.
Yeah.
Now, what's this last one? Where is it?
She's put, John is far too kind and nice to be a king. He has a heart and a soul, so that rules him out from being royalty. That's true.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
But if anybody was to take advantage of that, I've got his back.
Good.
And there's
Always
nothing
good to have
kind
somebody.
or nice about me. I can absolutely assure you of that fact.
Yes.
Wrong, because if you're not kind and nice, you wouldn't be on here, would you?
And I am trying to
Well,
help people, but when it
'Cause you're
really
trying to
comes
help
down
people.
to it, there's only one rule.
Yeah.
Mind you, I've said that to people that know that I've got a food stock. I'd say, well, if the chips are down, sorry, that food's for me.
Yeah, exactly. Not your
I can
neighbours.
assure you that anybody who finds out I've got items prepared and valuable items and food stocks and things, they're going to find that information out because I want them to come to my house.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they won't know.
That's yes. That's right. Oh, by the way, I've got to mention, I forget every week. Please like, subscribe, put the old thumbs up. You know, the old thumbs at the bottom there. See, subscribe and ding the little bell. Ding, 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 and it tells you when up and coming shows. And cheeky sod, I'm not even going to bother reading this one out. Right. He said, I'm not going to read out. He says, vote English Constitutional Party. We stand for the English Bill of Rights. See, so I haven't read that one out, have I, Town Crier? So there we go. So
didn't read that. Never heard it.
Political, yeah. Shall I repeat that I haven't read it out? No, I don't think.
Yeah. Nah. You got it.
Right.
Does the English Constitution Party advocate the reissuance of the Bradbury pound as opposed to currency issued at interest by private banksters? Because they've done that before and it worked very well. And then a certain group of people ensured that it stopped.
Yeah.
I'm not mentioning that group of people are, but the hats that they wear are not as big as this one.
Yes.
I know what you mean. Yes.
We know that group of people you're on about.
But people are not allowed to criticise. The Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah, the Jehovah's Witnesses, they're the
Yes,
ones.
that's it. People we're not allowed to criticise. Yes. And yes, because you know the way they stop political parties who advocate the doing away with usury. It's usually with a little piece of lead just behind the ear. That's administered by Smith & Wesson, isn't it? Or a long-range shotgun, you know.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Got Emmon. I like Richard D. Hall. I'm not so keen on the UFO stuff, but that's just me. Well, you know, we've all got looks and likes to decide. The Stand in the Park Telegram group I'm in didn't like me saying the Manchester boom was a hoax.
I need to look into this Manchester boom because it's something I don't actually know about, and I thought I would have done.
I don't know much about it, but I'm a southerner, you see. Hang on, it says about fuck 'em all. We could all have diplomatic immunity.
That's what we're looking for.
See, so I'm going to work on the website, so you'll be able to download the money, which is pretty good because if you're a bit older, you can download some dollars. Because I can become a millionaire.
Print it off.
You can. It's all paper money. That's do what the government does. And the
Not
foreign country of UK, you see, because we're fuck 'em all citizens. we can all
Yes.
have diplomatic immunity. That's right.
Yes.
So,
Is it all right to ask a question?
Why not?
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure why the previous commenter was against Richard D. Hall's UFO work, because I'm open-minded about various phenomena. I mean, I was discussing it with you earlier on, Chris. These Foo Fighters that were seen in the war on the end of fight, and nobody's ever explained what they are, you know. And I think somebody who's not open-minded is probably going to have a massive problem in the near future. I don't know what these things are or where they come from, but there's definitely unexplained phenomena going on here. Now, they're either being purposefully generated by government using technology that we're not privy to, or the alleged space aliens are coming from somewhere here, and we're being conned into thinking that they're coming from space. That's my personal view. But I think to dismiss all the work that people like Richard D. Hall are doing on unidentified phenomena and things is not a good idea, because you know, if you allow yourself to be closed-minded, then you could be a victim of the unexpected.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm not going to be.
I don't discount anything now. Anything that I hear, I'm like, unless you know, it's even if I haven't seen it with my own eyes, I won't discount it, because I've seen things that other people probably wouldn't believe. So I'm open to anything, me, unless it's proved that it's absolute bollocks. Then
you're spot on there, and I think I
try to keep an
open mind.
Absolute bollocks, the whole of history.
Yes. As I said,
I know that from John's book.
Ago, if somebody had said what's happening now, we would have all gone, yeah, it's a bit far-fetched, though, isn't it?
Yeah, we would.
But sorry, I didn't mean to cross over there, but we're going to cover Foo Fighters, and on the 3rd of January, you're coming along, Deb, aren't you?
I am.
And with John.
I'll be here.
And you come on, Dave, if you want. And we're called Paranormal War, and that'll be on the 3rd of January. And we go through with future programs, because we're quite booked up now. I've got bleeding waiting.
Before you get to any kind of closure of the podcast, John wants to say something.
Okay. Well, shall we? We better round up. And there's a loading chat. I'm very sorry we couldn't get to. Blimey. Turncry, I'll blank on. Turncry's got on his what's name? Here we go. Under the Bill of Rights, 1689, which is still law, it states you have the right to bear arms to defend yourself. Oh.
We can use that on our Fockham Hall. What's it?
That's right. That's especially in Fockham, you can. You see, because you know there's one rule in Fockham.
Yeah,
do you know what that rule is?
I've got bare arms already, you see. So
yeah, you have, Anybody would think it was tropical.
Bare arms already.
I've got 2 fleeces on.
We've got a lot going on about. I bet his ears are half burning. He's probably
Richard D. Hall.
Yeah, Richard D. Hall saying, "Bleed, no, my ears are burning tonight."
Who's talking about me?
Here we go. Oh, Blank Wall said he was abducted when he was 5.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. I think you do a whole sort of program on things like that. Yeah, so, shall we round up? Is there anything you like? Anything more you want to say?
John wanted to say something, didn't he?
Yeah, John wanted to say something. Yeah.
Before he goes over, okay. So we've got John. Hello, John.
Hello, I'm back. Hi, everybody.
Hello, you.
Hello.
I just want to do an unashamed plug for the conference that's happening in Battle, East Sussex this weekend.
One moment. Whoa. I've got the is it this one?
Yeah, that's it. I'm doing 3 talks. Mark Devlin's there. Allegedly Dave, otherwise known as Dave Murphy's there. Gloria Moss, who's been on Chris's show several times, and a couple of other speakers as well. So last year we did the same thing last year, this very weekend last year, and it was absolutely fantastic. I'm not just saying that, I don't benefit financially from it, but I would just say to anyone who's got a free weekend, fancies mixing with some very, very like-minded people, very, very nice like-minded people. then just email me, and I'll put you in touch with the organizer, and you will. I promise you'll have a fantastic weekend.
Superb.
And I was going to mention the shows that are coming up, which people can make notes in their diaries on this. So next week, 20th of December, we've got The Science of Legal Voting Fraud. So I reckon Town Criers going, oh, we want to see that. Yeah, that's good. We might not be, I don't know. And then on the 27th of December, we've got Gloria Moss, Professor Gloria Moss, back, Awake and Non-Awake. Okay.
Right.
Then on the 3rd of January, we've got Paranormal War. Now, that might be a two-parter because it's huge subject, from the Angel of Mons right away through to Vietnam to Afghanistan. So there's a heck of a lot to cover, and it really is fascinating. And the more you look into it, it's like a tree, isn't it, Deb? When we was talking, there's different branches that are coming out all the time. Like World War II was black art. It was black magic was used with that bloke, that bald-headed geezer who he can never, Alistair Crowley. Yeah, I can never remember his name. And then on the 10th of January, Gloria Moss is back with the Great Fraud. And people say, no, you mean fire? No, Fraud of London, 1666. So that's coming back. And then we're going to, further on from there, I've got to arrange it. These dates are not set in stone. We might twiddle them around, as people might say, I might not be able to make this, that. And we've got a chap called Dom, I believe Dominic, who will be coming.
This is Dominic from the Sheep Farm podcast, who I've done 2 or 3 sessions with. Good guy. Those of you who are aware of the Sheep Farm podcast, Dom. He'll be on sometime. Right. Date still to be organised, but yeah.
That's right. Well, I'm going to give him a buzz tomorrow. I should have phoned him a little bit before, so I'm sorry about that. But he said sometime in January, and we might have another chap coming on talking about vitamins and minerals.
Oh, yes.
That should be quite interesting. So, but I really do think the Paranormal War one will be a two-parter. And also, I believe that Professor Gloria Moss is going to try and contact that chap is it Ghent in Belgium, who works on that theory of 30, 40, 30. And if she can get in contact with him, hopefully she might be able to get him on the show.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody. I'll put you back to Dave.
See you later, John.
See you later, John.
I've just got one final message for everyone in case people have forgotten it or everything. Everybody who's watching or everybody who know anybody, tell everybody you know, just sit there in your house, right, and just say to yourself, the gas, water, and electric is gone. What are you going to do? Right? Yeah. Start with that, and then you'll build capability for when it happens, because this is going to be one of the final weapons they use against everyone.
Yeah.
They're going to take all your utilities away and hope that you submit to internment or anything else. Oh, look, we've got gas, water, and electricity here.
Yeah, come to us.
Yeah. Because that's how it goes. So do it now. Do it while you can.
That's right.
And then make sure that you all end up safe due to this knowledge that you can get now and the equipment that you can get now. Do it now. That's just from me to all the viewers. Thank you for everybody who's tuned in to ask me questions and things. And
thank you for coming, Dave.
Very, very wise. That is very, very wise. Thanks, Dave. And I'll tell you something. You are quite John Hamer is the fan of the shows, but when I mentioned that you're coming on, can you do this? Can I ask you that? And everybody's keen. People's ears prick up. And now we got Town Crier said, I'd love to have come to the conference, but I've organised a carol service. Yes, I know I'm involved in that as well on the 19th. And what we got here, and we've got what is it? Louise says the way we think is what will change what happens. We have you've taken the words out of my mouth. We have won the powers shouldn't be known. It love yourselves, each other, love unconditionally. Yes, because a perfect example of this is during World War II. The Italian army under Mussolini had no will to fight the British, none at all. And that's why you get all these jokes and things like that. But the Italian army, because they did not have the will to fight. No. When they changed sides, they fought like lions. That is overlooked. People always laugh about Italian tanks having reverse gears and that. No, because their heart wasn't in it. Yeah. Vietnam War. Think what happened with the Vietnam War. Their heart wasn't in it. The conscripts were sent over to Vietnam. They didn't want to be there. And hello, I've gone. What's happened? Back again. Oh, hello.
Again.
Oh, that happens every bloody week. That does.
Yeah, it's usually when we come off though.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much, Dave. Thanks, John. Thank you, Deb.
Thank you.
And sorry, I should have said you first.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, Chris. And
thank you for coming on.
Pleased to meet you, Deb. And I'm looking forward to your paranormal views and things.
Oh, yes, I'm looking forward to that.
And one thing I'm going to say, Dave, don't have a low opinion of yourself because you're a very kind person. And
I haven't got a low opinion of myself.
But no, seriously, you're helping so many people to survive. You really are helping a lot of people. So thank you very, very much. And remember, whatever happens, we got to keep positive and have a bloody good laugh.
And be prepared.
Yes, be prepared.
Be prepared. Stick the thumbs up. Please subscribe and ding the little bell. And good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.